Good day, everyone. I am Sir Roy, and our topic for today is all about photosynthesis and respiration. Let us first talk about photosynthesis. It is known to be the process used by the plants, algae, and some bacteria to create energy from sunlight. Yes, it is not only limited to plants. Algae and some bacteria are also capable of the process of photosynthesis. What makes them capable is due to the reason that they also possess the thing called chlorophyll, or the green pigment that is responsible for this conversion process. There are two stages of photosynthesis. The first one is what we call as the light-dependent reaction. From the word itself, it requires light. On the other hand, we also have here the light-independent reaction, meaning to say it does not require sunlight. The light-dependent reaction happens in thylakoid. On the other hand, the light-independent reaction, or also known as the Calvin cycle, occurs in the stroma. Let us have the differences between the two types of or stages of photosynthesis. Here we can see that light reaction occurs in thylakoid membrane of the chloroplast. On the other hand, dark reaction occurs in the stroma of the chloroplast. Light reaction depends on light. Dark reaction does not depend on sunlight. Light reaction, chlorophyll is the pigment involved here, whereas in the dark reaction, no pigments are involved. In light reaction, photolysis occurs in PS2 or photosynthesis 2. When we talk about photolysis, it is a process of breaking down molecules into simpler units through the absorption of sunlight. Whereas in dark reaction, does not occur. In light reaction, oxygen is liberated. In dark reaction, carbon dioxide is fixed. In light reaction, adenosine triphosphate and nicotinamide adenine diphosphate are produced. On the other hand, in dark reaction, glucose is produced by using the energy from the ATP and NADPH. Now, let us discuss further the process of photosynthesis. During photosynthesis, plants take in carbon dioxide, usually came from animals and human, and water or H2O from the air and soil. Within the plant cell, the water is oxidized, meaning to say it loses electron, while the carbon dioxide is reduced, meaning it gains electrons. This transforms water into oxygen and carbon dioxide into glucose. The plant then releases the oxygen back into the air and stores energy within the glucose molecules. As you can see in the illustration, the water and the nutrients enters the plant through the roots, usually came from the soil. And on the other hand, there's so-called stomata, or a hole or opening found in the leaf of a plant, which provides the entry for the carbon dioxide and exit for the oxygen. Let us analyze the photosynthesis equation. So as you can see, we have here 6CO2 plus or combines with 6H2O, and it will yield C6H12O and 6O2. Let us identify one by one the components of this chemical equation. CO2 stands for carbon dioxide. This usually came from humans and animals. On the other hand, the water, H2O stands for water. This came from the air and soil. Combining carbon dioxide and water, it will yield the glucose or the sugar component. And of course, we have here the oxygen. Remember that the main product of photosynthesis is the glucose, while the byproduct of the photosynthesis is known to be the oxygen. Let us now talk about cellular respiration. It is the process of taking oxygen from the air and cycling it through the lungs, which then gives oxygen to blood to be used in the body. Cellular respiration uses glucose, or sugar from the food molecules and turns them into carbon dioxide, water, and ATP, which is a nucleotide essential to the body. If there is photosynthesis for plants and algae as well as some bacteria, for animals and human, there is a process known to be cellular respiration. It is a process whereby the energy from the food that we eat is being utilized to supply energy for the body. Now, cellular respiration takes place in what we call as the mitochondria, or also known as the powerhouse of the cell. There are two types of cellular respiration. It could either be aerobic respiration or anaerobic respiration. When we speak of aerobic respiration, it takes place in the presence of oxygen. On the other hand, anaerobic takes place in the absence or without oxygen. Aerobic occurs in the cytoplasm and mitochondria, while anaerobic occurs in cytoplasm. In aerobic respiration, glucose is broken down into carbon dioxide and water. On the other hand, in anaerobic respiration, glucose is broken down into ethanol, or also known to be the ethyl alcohol. Lastly, aerobic respiration occurs in mammals, including humans. On the other hand, anaerobic respiration occurs in yeast and some of types of bacteria and also in some of the plants. Let us analyze the cellular respiration equation. We have here C6H12O6 combines with C6O2, which will yield 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus ATP. Let us identify one by one the components of this equation. Let us first begin with the reactants. C6H12O6 stands for glucose, or the sugar. And we also have here 6O2 stands for oxygen. So the oxygen here came from the plants. Combining glucose and oxygen, it will yield CO2, or also known to be carbon dioxide. We also have here the water, or H2O, and of course the ATP, or the adenosine triphosphate, or the energy carrying component in our body. Let us have a short activity to validate our learning for this particular lesson. Let us analyze the illustration so that we can answer the following question. In which part of the cell does photosynthesis happen? The answer is chloroplast. Question, respiration happen? Here, the answer is mitochondria. Next, what energy is needed by the photosynthetic organism during the process of photosynthesis? The answer is light energy. On the other hand, what energy is needed by the organism during cell respiration? The answer is chemical energy. What are the materials needed during photosynthesis? We have here CO2, or carbon dioxide, and water. On the other hand, what are the materials produced after the process of photosynthesis? Here, the answer is glucose and oxygen. What are the materials? Of course, we have here glucose and oxygen. What are the materials produced after the process of cell respiration? We have carbon dioxide and water. Describe the materials needed during photosynthesis. Where do they came from? As you would notice, these are the products of respiration. Then, these products needed during cell respiration, where do they came from? So this usually came from the product of photosynthesis. That's all for today. Thank you for watching.